You know, your preference for cats, it isn't just some random quirk. It's actually a signal. It's kind of like a psychological fingerprint that reveals how you process the world around you. So today, we're going to decode what a love for cats quietly says about a person.
Okay, so let's just dive right into the heart of it. When you boil it down, it's about two fundamentally different needs, right? On one hand, you have the person who craves that constant energetic feedback. But on the other, you've got someone who's looking for presence, but without all the pressure. And believe me, this single contrast is the key to understanding literally everything that follows.
All right, first things first, we have to talk about the stereotype, because for decades, pop culture has gotten cat people completely, totally wrong.
Yeah, we all know these characters. We've seen them a million times. They're basically a cultural shorthand for someone who's withdrawn, maybe a little strange, or even cold. And these images, they've really defined cat lovers for a long, long time.
So you got to ask yourself, where did this actually start? Was it based on, some kind of research or careful observation? Probably something else entirely.
And the truth is, these stereotypes weren't born from science at all. They really came from a place of cultural discomfort. I mean, think about it. Our modern world is built around being seen, around loud, expressive emotion. It just doesn't know what to do with people who don't perform their feelings all the time.
So here's the really crucial point. What pop culture calls detachment is actually selectivity. Cat people aren't trying to avoid connection. They're curating it. They're actively trying to avoid the kind of overstimulation that just drains all of their energy.
Okay, so let's move away from the myths and get into the actual science. Using what's called the Big Five personality traits, researchers have found some really clear patterns that help define the cat person's psyche.
Now, what's so interesting here is the combination of these traits. Higher openness, that means a love for complexity, for new ideas. Lower extroversion means that social situations tend to spend your energy, not give you more. And higher neuroticism, well, that points to a really finely tuned sensitivity.
Let's zoom in on that last one, because it's so misunderstood. In psychology, neuroticism doesn't mean you're unstable. It really just means sensitivity. It's like having an internal, early warning system that notices stress or emotional shifts and even changes in the environment way faster than the average person.
But you know, personality is only part of the story. This preference, it actually goes deeper, right down to your nervous system and how it keeps itself in balance.
I mean, seriously, what if your choice isn't just about how you think or behave? What if it's about how your very body responds to the world around you?
In this slide, wow, it just lays out the two core strategies perfectly. Some nervous systems need activity to feel regulated. They actually thrive on engagement. But others, they regulate through stillness. They don't need constant stimulation to feel safe. In fact, they need environments that don't overwhelm them in the first place.
This just puts it perfectly. That phrase, dogs are too much, it's not a judgment, it's a physiological description. It's someone literally explaining that their system has hit its limit for stimulation and it needs to downshift.
So how exactly does the bond with the cat cater to this need for calm? Well, it's all about a unique kind of connection, one that comes without demands. It all starts with this little evolutionary trick called the baby schema. See, cats just happen to have the exact features that our brains are hardwired to find adorable and want to protect. Your brain doesn't register predator, it registers infant, and that triggers your caretaking impulses automatically.
And then, of course, there's the sound. A cat's purr isn't just pleasant. It's a form of physiological regulation. That low, steady frequency is a nonverbal cue to your nervous system that everything is safe. You don't decide to relax, your body just responds. This is what we call co-regulation, one nervous system calming another, and it happens without a single word being spoken.
So the real takeaway here is this. The entire relationship is built on consent. A cat's affection is offered. It's not imposed. It doesn't demand your attention or your energy. And for someone who is easily overstimulated, this respect for boundaries feels incredibly safe.
But now, we have to explore one final, kind of unsettling idea that challenges our whole sense of free will in all of this.
What if there's some kind of biological factor, something beyond your personality and your nervous system, that's quietly nudging you toward this preference?
So I want you to meet Toxoplasma gondii. It's this microscopic parasite that needs a cat to reproduce. And there's this controversial but totally fascinating theory that it might subtly alter its host's brains, including ours, to make them more drawn to cats. Now, the science is still being debated for sure, but it's a powerful reminder that our feelings are this complex mix of psychology and biology. Look, at the end of the day, whether it's your personality, your physiology, or even a tiny microscopic passenger, the conclusion is the same. Being a cat person is not a character flaw. It's a deeply adaptive strategy for self-regulation. It's about building a life that honors your own internal rhythm.
You know, I think this quote just gets to the heart of it. It's not about being smarter or better than anyone else. It's a choice, whether it's conscious or not, to value a quieter, more observant way of being in a world that so often just prizes noise.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. For those of you who really connect with this, what is it that cats provide for you? What quiet need do they meet that the loud, busy world so often seems to overlook?